Leonidas vs Apollo so far has been quite solid. Recently we got a reveal from one of the main leakers for the story that the fight is actually ending in the next chapter, meaning it's possible that this could have been one of the quickest fights in the entire series. For example, this fight officially began with the introduction of both characters in chapter 78, the most recent was chapter 82. Only 4 chapters of real fighting so far, which if it was the end of the next chapter, it would probably be the shortest fight thus far, unless it's actually a double chapter, which would mean it's the same length as round 1 for vs Lubu. So it is a possibility, but who do you think is going to win considering everything that's happened so far? According to you mad lads who voted on this poll, Leonidas was able to get 63% of the vote, Apollo 24%, and 14% of you voting for a draw. Something I've personally been waiting for quite some time now. Let's go over a few things that point to each one of these options becoming a reality. But before that, consider joining the channel's Discord if you need chapter links for Record of Ragnarok stuff when it comes out, or if you just want to be part of the growing community, free to join, link in the description. The reason a draw makes sense is that so far in the series there's been a few change-ups regarding Buddha betraying the gods, the introduction of new fighters for the gods, namely Hades, kinda ruining the original format if we were to actually get every fighter originally stated at the start of the series who were representing both sides, namely humanity having too many fighters now. This means we could either have a draw or extra rounds added to the tournament. On top of that, we also have Siegfried in the background of the story who'll probably play a role in the future as well. So a draw is something that would fix all this up and ensure all the fighters would actually get their chance to have a match in the series, which of course is something we all want. Apollo winning is more so for other reasons. The Greek gods have been done quite dirty in the series so far, with their only victory coming from the likes of Zeus. Apollo is also the final Greek god fighting in the tournament based on the original roster. We even got a bonus one in Hades fighting in the previous rounds, so I think it's pretty much right to end the Greek gods the way they started, with a huge dub. On top of that, Apollo in recent chapters has become one of the most likable characters in the entire series, particularly regarding the gods, how he's someone who wasn't born with strength on the same degree as the other Greek gods. He had to push himself, train to get stronger and stronger, and even potentially surpass all of them considering some stuff I'll talk about later in today's video. Currently in the story, this is round 9, with the scores between both sides being a draw, 4 wins to the gods and 4 wins to humanity, meaning the winner of this fight will actually push either side ahead, and the gods haven't been ahead for quite some time now, something I didn't really expect at all. And considering we're moving towards the final of the entire tournament, the gods being in the lead until humanity finally pushes forward is something that really makes more narrative sense and is more cliche, especially in a story like this. So Apollo winning to push the gods ahead by 1 point is something I guess this makes sense. But regardless of all this, most of the people who voted on this poll still believe in Leonidas winning this fight. I would like to think this is mainly due to the Spartan Mad Lad's insane energy in the fight thus far. Man is the definition of an absolute savage and he isn't going down easy, that's for sure. And that regardless of the recent stuff for Apollo, Leonidas is still the more fan favourite character by the broader community without a doubt, regardless of his design not particularly being what a lot of people wanted. But let's go over some of the main aspects that have occurred in the fight so far. Zeus stating straight away that regardless of who Apollo is personality wise, he is someone who is strong. Leonidas actually having history or beef with the likes of Apollo, which seems to be mostly one-sided, with this connecting to the people of Leonidas' time kinda misinterpreting what Apollo said, and Leonidas' character as a whole just doing what he wants to do. The King's Volume is this shield which seems to have the ability to transform into multiple things. One is this range-like spinning weapon that was actually able to have this weird strange aura appear around it and actually get through Apollo's defenses in the early stages of the fight. However, this didn't do any damage due to Apollo's actual ability as well, or his weapon. That being known as these Threads of Artemis, one of the most versatile weapons in the entire series so far, capable of blocking attacks in this way and transform into other like things. For an example, powered up boxing gloves, which connects to the reveal that Apollo is the god of boxing as well, wielding crazy footwork to avoid most of Leonidas' attacks and being able to land quite a bit of damage with his various combos. He also makes it very hard for Leonidas to read where he's actually going to attack, as shown with this panel here. It was about to be a direct shot to the face, but was able to quickly divert to the body. Additionally, with his Threads of Artemis, he can actually bind his opponent with it, making it once again very overpowered, as it allowed Apollo to actually bring Leonidas towards his fist to land a even more devastating blow that left Leonidas' face like this, showing the sheer power he actually has with his blows on top of the speed and skill that he's demonstrated so far. However, Leonidas, when transforming his weapon and his sheer Mad Lad energy, was able to do some major damage with this crazy headbutt landing directly on Apollo. This of course was followed up with a direct attack landed from him, with the reveal that his Valkyrie is also unhinged to a degree, doing some pretty solid damage to the likes of Apollo. But it wasn't enough to actually put him down, with it being shown in the recent chapter that both fighters have sustained similar amounts of damage so far in the fight. But we did recently get the reveal that Apollo isn't really like the other gods. He's someone who actually gets stronger and has trained his whole life for the strength he actually wields now, and after taking that last attack seems to have gotten stronger as well, which is probably leading into the next chapter of Apollo giving Leonidas another beating, Leonidas transforming his weapon once again, and maybe a full transformation for the likes of Apollo. We'll have to wait and see. But if we don't get to see something like that, there is of course another aspect of Apollo we're still waiting for, Apollo using his bow and arrow. We've got multiple panels throughout the fight so far showing Apollo actually wielding a bow, and the fact that he's a god of the following thing: philosophy, poetry, medicine, the god of archery, literally stated there, the god of prophecy, the god of boxing. We've seen the boxing aspect, I think it's finally time to see the archery aspect. The others are loosely connected to his Threads of Artemis, so have them turn into his bow and arrow and finally have a ranged battle against Leonidas, who could also transform his weapon into some type of range-like thing as well. Or it could very well just go back to his shield and we could have Apollo pulling out a shield as shown here as well. A crazy amount of possibilities. I just hope the final chapters of this fight are these two just throwing hands like absolute mad lads. But right now, my bets are on Apollo winning round 9. Let me know what you think down below. Check out the other stuff in the description. Shout out to these Patreon mad lads. That's it guys. Peace.